Okay, so today we see our tours in Audley End House and Gardens in Walden, Saffron Walden. This is in Essex, so you can see here Audley End House and Gardens. This is one of the finest Jacobean mansions in England. This place used to sit on the old Walden Abbey, and it was given to Sir Thomas Audley by Henry VIII in 1538. Now currently this mansion is sitting on a land which is about a third of its original size, and the current site, this site was built by the son of Sir Thomas Audley. His name is Thomas Howard. He was the first Earl of Suffolk, yes. So he built this place in 1538. So we're gonna get inside. I have been told that not much filming can be done inside the house, but hopefully we can do a lot on the grounds. Yes. So as you can see here, that's the land. On the left is the stables, as you can see at the far end, the brick. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yeah. And so that is the building itself. Yes, so to get here, you hit the M11 north towards Cambridgeshire. So we're basically sitting on the border between Cambridge and Essex, but it's actually the place is located in the borders of Essex. So it is absolutely beautiful. A place where you can come to with your family on a weekend. But the whole idea of this building gives that impression of the life of masters and servants in the Victorian era. So most of the current architecture and the interior design is designed to a sort of 1880 style. Yes, and so it has about 5 functions. So you've got the stately rooms, then you've got the service wing where you have Mrs. Crocombe's kitchen, and then you have the nursery, and then you have the coal gallery. So they just one feature where they used to make hot water, obviously to serve the house. Then you've got the stables, which is sitting at the far end, the red brick building. And then you've got the gardens, the grounds. So I'm gonna make that effort to get inside this house. So you can see here, also the cladding of this building is made of stone. So it's not brick, it's a stone cladded structure. But as you can see, the beauty of it, what is actually amazing about this this building is, and the land is, like, if you can imagine that is sitting on a land that is 1/3 the size of its original land size, then it's really amazing. Then let's talk about cost. So as I said, this current structure was built by Thomas Howard, the first Earl of Sussex, son of Sir Thomas Audley. So Thomas Howard was also, he was a Lord Treasurer. So he used £200,000 then to basically acquire and build this structure here as we see. And this was before 1600. And so what then follows after the building is that Lord Thomas Howard was then accused of financial embezzlement and was sent to the Tower of London. And I can only assume that in those days, when you went to the Tower of London, then the idea was for you to be beheaded. But apparently a huge ransom was paid. A sum of money was paid for his release. And so this actually happened in 1619, yes. 1619 was when Lord Thomas Howard was taken to the Tower of London. So they released him. He came back to live in this area until 1626 when he finally passed away. However, not in the dignified status as he was known to be before. So that gives you a bit of a history, so you can see the grounds are really beautiful. I'm just gonna make an effort to see if I can zoom in. Right, okay, I think the settings doesn't really allow me to zoom in, but you can see from the far distance. It's really beautiful. I think as it is, we'll probably walk to the stables and see what we can get. Jenny, on that side, what do we have there? What's that section? Yeah, the thing is that I cannot, my settings doesn't allow me to zoom in. So I'm gonna go to sort of a wing of the building. Yeah, it's kind of quite beautiful. That's some section of the building, I suppose. Oh, that's the laundry. So as you can see, in those days. Yeah, so the interesting thing is that when you can't just even imagine that these structures have been here for that length of time. So we're talking sort of 1538 and coming on into the 1600s. The architect or the interior designer, I think it's Lord Braybrooke. He done the design inside, but he designed it to a sort of 1880 style. So that's another dimension of the grounds. It's huge. It's massive. It's massive. So you can see lots of families around today. Let's see if I can get another dimension of it. So surely on a nice day, it's can be good to spend time here. I think as I'm here, I'm gonna make my way down to the stables where they kept the horses. I mean, the land is vast, unbelievable. And once again, to get to places like this, your easiest and cost-effective way is to become an English Heritage member. Yeah. So currently, the land and basically the property is owned by Baron Braybrooke, but then the stewardship is under English Heritage. So English Heritage are actually taking care of this fine Jacobean English country house. I'm gonna make my way to the stables. I spoke to the to the lady at reception. Apparently I may not be able to gain access to actually film in the inside of the house, but it does host some very beautiful interior and also some art and paintings, artwork and paintings. So I'm gonna head to the stables where you can see how things were like in those days. So you can see this section of the grounds is absolutely beautiful, so tranquil, highly recommended. You know, bring your family here on a good day, just to walk around and enjoy. I'm very sure children will enjoy this experience. That side is just so awesome. You can see the tranquility and the beauty of this little canal. Yeah, so once again you can see, I'll get a close-up for the English Heritage sign, so you can see it yourself. Yeah, English Heritage, so you can see there, and it says join today. Join today. English Heritage is absolutely worth joining as a member because it gives you access. So this is the stables and there's the back of it. I'm going to go to the other side of it, but just to film the back of it. Obviously the stables, as you can see, that is actually a brick structure, the cladding. But when you go to the main building, then that is actually made of stone. But this is a brick structure, so I'm just going to go around it. And so this is where all the horses, the breeding of the horses for the house, and you know, for all these aristocrats and people of high status than in England. And I suppose the horses were used for sort of for their games, for their entertainment, and I guess for sports stuff. So this is the back wall. I'm going to go to the other side of it to once again feature that section. Yes. So it's very nice. I mean, it is just shocking to think that back in the day that Thomas Howard, the first Earl of Suffolk, could spend an amount of £200,000. I don't know in today's terms how much that would have been worth, but I could only assume that it would have been in the billions of pounds. Yes, but it's absolutely awesome. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And apparently a lot of the writers, you know, the prominent writers and artists were given this place back in the day by Henry VIII to do some of their work. As you know, that Cambridge is not too far from here. So all these great artists will come from both Cambridge and Oxford to spend time here to do their learning and their writing. So it's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I was at the back of the stables, so now I come in here into the main court of the stables where, you know, all the fine horses would have been bred here. Gaining all the training. So you can see the gentleman standing at the far end who could have been somebody that trained these horses. Yes, as you can see. Yeah, I think I can probably get in here. So here we get an idea of the type of clothing at the time and the horse carriage. So you can see different colors. Really nice. 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5. They're not following, Jen. Gives you an idea of back in the day. Back in the day. Oh, okay. With the invention of wheels. I suppose. Help you journey quicker. I'm going to probably get a bit of a close-up on this. Okay. So here it says, this building originally housed some of Lord Braybrooke's coaches and a state fire engine. It is now housed to an exhibition exploring horse riding in Victorian times. Riding for pleasure was mostly the preserve of the privilege and an essential skill for a lady or gentleman. Boys and girls in aristocratic household learned to ride from a young age. The third Lord Braybrooke's eldest son, Richard, for instance, was bought a pony for £14, 17th in June 1827, when age was just over 7. Toddlers sat in a special basket saddle. Then around the age of 5, children could graduate to ride a donkey or pony led by a groom. They usually learn to ride independently from the age of 8, and boys will have started attending hunts. Yeah. So you can see that's a real close-up of what was then happening in the 16th century. So this is absolutely wonderful. So at this stage, I think I'll see if I can enter some aspects of this stable. You can see, let's enter some section of this stable. Okay, what is it here? An estate at work and play. The story of Audley End. Okay, so once again I get a close-up on this. You can read it yourself. So it's really amazing. Estate life in the 1880s. I'll probably get a close-up to get an idea of the type of dress and could be a lot difficult, but there you are. Estate life in AUDLEY End House in Suffolk, Walden. So you can see Essex bordering Cambridge in Cambridgeshire. All right. I don't know if this is like a court or something. So this is where the youngsters at the time, this aristocratic youngsters will learn how to ride horses. Great. I will probably go into this little building here that has got it says it's a tack room, so I have no idea what that is. Let me get in here. Okay. I think it's all the stuff with the horses. So you can see all these items are dating back 600 years. You can see here the boots and all the saddle for the horse riding and all the kit to guard the horses and stuff. So yeah, all these things are preserved. So as for us to get a glimpse into the life of the then Audley End House and Gardens, caring for the Tack. Yeah, this Tack House was built in the 1850s, replacing an earlier tack room within the stable block itself. It was used for storing the saddles and the riding tack, and as a workshop for maintaining and repairing horse gear. In 1861, 9 saddles, 4 side saddles, 11 bridles, and 6 sets of horse harness were stored here. The fireplace was probably used to brew tea for the coachman and grooms, and provided some welcome warmth during the winter months. So you can see a typical way that the horseman would have dressed in those days, and that is that fireplace I talk about. Okay, so at this point I'm going to move to the other side and do some more filming. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel, to the EEC Art Tour channel, because we are exploring the UK by road, and you get that opportunity to see places where you can visit in your free time. So remember to hit that subscribe button to grow the channel, and also to get insights into our next area. Some places in Suffolk. We're also going to go to Cambridge, where there's a lot to be learned. And so these are the people that used to keep the grounds. I'm heading to the play area, I think, for the Braybrooke family that used to occupy this land. I particularly love this section, this part of the building, as it's extremely green and the land is quite beautiful. It's very nice. Okay, so this would have been the play area, as you can see, and it says the cart yard. Okay, so something to do with the horses then, I guess. But it's been turned into a play area. So let's go further here deeper into the grounds. Once again, the canal just extends, and it's just beautiful, tranquil, beautiful, you know. So it's key, preservation of land, very important for the environment, for the ecology, And my interest is that many countries can learn how to preserve land. It gives you an idea. It's brilliant. So once again, Audley End House in Essex, Saffron Walden. This is the place. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed this, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Okay.